Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is my third video in regards to Tad Cummins and Elizabeth Thomas. However, in this video, it's aimed at Tad Cummins' family, mainly his former wife, Jill, and his two daughters, Erica and Ashley. First of all, I want to apologize for the language I used in my previous videos if you ever get a chance to watch them. Please understand that they had, like I said before, heavy swearing, or heavy language as I call it, and many other irate actions on my part, and I do apologize for any offense you, Miss Jill Cummins, took to the video, and the same can be said for Ashley and Erica for any offense they took to the videos. Please understand I was very angry, I was very irate, and I was very hurt at the fact that Tad had done this to Elizabeth. I was, like I said, very upset about it, and my emotions got the best of me. Now, I admit that I had a right to be angry. I just should have restricted the use of heavy language. Now that I've gotten the apology out of the way, this video is going to be more about how much I'm going to support you guys. Now, what most people don't understand in violent crimes, or crimes involving pedophilia, or any sort of crime, is that the criminal has a family. In this case, Tad Cummins had a family that are now estranged from him, even if his daughters have said in interviews they're going to support him. And that I do respect. I admire that Erica and Ashley are going to stand with their father even if he has done this evil act. I appreciate that because they still see him as their father, and I would have to say at least they're standing with their families. In most normal circumstances, families would have severed communication with the other members that have done a crime and want nothing to do with them. In Jill Cummins' case, in your case, Jill, it's understandable. I mean, or ex-husband, I should say, has done this unforgivable act. I mean, I understand you still love him, but you can't trust him, and that's understandable. He ruined the life of this child. Now, don't get me wrong about what I'm trying to say. Don't get me wrong. I don't support what he did. In fact, I was like I said, I was very angry about it. But I'm sure had Tad Cummins not have done this crime, I'm sure if Tad Cummins had been just a normal everyday individual who had not decided to conduct this crime with this teen girl and ruined her life in the process, I'm quite certain I probably would have been friends with Tad Cummins. But as it stands, I don't want to talk to the man. I want nothing to do with him because of what he had done. I forgive him. Yes. But what he did was wrong. Now, to correct my contradiction earlier from what I said about this unforgivable crime is, well, I have to forgive him. I have to. Or else I'm not going to have any peace with myself. Even if what he did was unforgivable, I have to forgive him regardless. I mean, I'm quite certain that Tad was probably a great guy, but like I said, as it stands, he did this act, and I'm very angry with him about it. And it upsets me. And I'm sorry for any language for the language I've used, excuse me, for the heavy swearing and everything. But please understand that what Tad did was wrong, and I was mad about it. I'm sure a lot of people were angry. And I saw the interviews, Miss Cummins. I saw the interviews. I saw all the interviews, Jill. I saw every single one of them, and it really breaks my heart. I mean, You had the perfect marriage. You had the perfect life. And then this had to happen. Now, you may not know it about my heavy language and everything, but I am a Christian too. And I have issues with swearing. And I know a lot of people are going to bash me for making mention of my Christian faith, and I really don't care. Besides, if anything, I take great solace in knowing that people are going to bash me for my Christian faith, because my reward in heaven is great. And personally, I don't care what people say about me being a Christian. But back on the topic at hand, it really does aggravate me to no end. Now, to Ashley and Erica, I want to applaud you for standing with your father. That is the right thing to do, even if what he did was utterly evil and very disgusting and absolutely disturbing. The fact that you're willing to stand with your own father, even though he did this heinous crime, or heinous crimes, whatever you want to say, goes to show that you still love the man, even though you don't like what he did. But the question I want to know is, what if this had happened to you? How would your father have reacted? That's what I would ask Tad Cummins right now if I had the chance. And this is an open question that I'm going to ask Tad Cummins right now. What if someone had done this to your daughters, Ashley and Erica? What if someone had taken them across ways around the country and took them to a commune where they were eventually forced to have sex and forced to do these bizarre things? How would you feel, Tad? You'd feel very angry and irate. But the question is, where do you get off thinking that it was okay to do this to Elizabeth Thomas, of all people? You know, there's a lot of questions to this case. And like I said in my prior video, that I may have said things that I didn't care, that Elizabeth had all these problems, you know, with her family and everything like that. But my reasoning for that was this. I didn't care if this kid was being abused. It was no way, it did not justify your actions in kidnapping her, okay? That was wrong. But back to Jill Cummins. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I'm sorry that you are now looked upon in the community with a dirty look because of Tad being her husband, or former husband, or ex-husband, or whatever you want to call it. But please understand that in the videos I made, I was very angry, and I'm sure there were a lot of people that felt the same way too. They just didn't take their anger out on YouTube. Now, I will offer my support to you and your family, Jill, much like I'm doing with Elizabeth and her family, with the exception of Elizabeth's mother, Kimberly, of course. Ugh. That's all I'm going to say about her, because I made a promise to myself I would avoid all forms of heavy language in this video. And so far I'm doing just that. But in closing, Miss Jill Cummins, if you ever watch the videos, please understand in the first two videos I made, I was very angry and irate at Tad for what he had done. And this video is more of a logical approach at it now, that my anger has mainly subsided, knowing that Tad is going to get justice. And there's another thing I want to ask you, Miss Jill Cummins, is how do you feel about Griffin Berry as a person? I mean, he's the one who stopped this madness. Not just Griffin Berry, but also the people over at Black Bear Commune, or Black Bear Ranch. Now, you may applaud them in what they've done. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to answer for that. I'm not gonna put my 2 cents in that regard. I just want to know with what's going on with everything, because even though, and this is, I'm gonna say this to everyone who may watch this video, Tad Cummins may have done this great evil, and while Tad Cummins deserves to be put to justice, and he deserves punishment for this, this does not mean that you have a right to attack his family. Leave his wife Jill, or his ex-wife rather, leave his ex-wife Jill Cummins alone. And leave his daughters alone. In fact, leave his entire family alone. They're going through a hard time as it is. They're suffering as it is, and they're going through this right now, and it really, 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 really is affecting their family just as much as the Thomas family is being affected. So it would mean a lot to the Cummins if you supported them in this time of need as much as you supported the Cummins family. Because as I see it, there are two families hurting right now. Two families we need to support. Two families we need to extend our prayers towards. And the hope that this ordeal will get solved and resolved as quickly as possible, and that both families can go back to living a normal life, if possible. Knowing good and well that March 12th is not coming back. That there's no going back to that date. What is said has been done. And now we have to work at rebuilding what was lost. I hope that the feedback I received from this video is positive, and the hopes that now that the anger inside me has subsided, there's a more logical disclosure in regards to the situation. Although I am not directly involved in it, I am just an observer, a spectator, a bystander, whatever you want to call me, that is just expressing his opinion on the matter. And that is all I'm here to do. Take it or leave it. This video is just my logical outlook on the entire ordeal. Here's to hoping and praying that justice is done, and that Elizabeth and her family, and even the Cummins family, return to a normal life as soon as possible. Or if possible, for that matter, I should say. Thank you for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and spread the word. Thank you.